Proverbs 6 says there are 6 things the Lord hates, and 7 that are detestable to him. But the one he hates most of all is pride. But why is pride so terrible? Why does God detest it so much? Pride can cause even the best people to fall away. Just look at Eve and Peter, some of the most important figures in the Bible. Pride caused even their trust in God to waver, and for them to put way too much trust in themselves. That's why God hates pride. It causes you to trust in yourself way too much, and in God way too little. Let me give you an example of this. 2 Chronicles 25 tells us about King Amaziah, who in the beginning of his reign did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, but not like David, not wholeheartedly. At the beginning of the story, Amaziah is preparing for battle with the Edomites. It says he has 300,000 men, but still he needed 100,000 more Israelite fighters that he pays with 100 talents of silver. But a man of God is sent to him, and he tells him that the Lord was not with Israel, and that these Israelite fighters would not be protected in battle. And although he is mad about losing the silver, he trusted in the Lord, and even though he is unsure about the number of men he has in his army, they won because the Lord delivered them. Although he won, though, we can already see the cracks of his trust in God and not trusting wholeheartedly, with him needing the reassurance of the Israelites instead of just God. When he got back to Judah, though, he brings back the Edomite idols and starts worshiping them and offering sacrifices to them. He starts worshiping the gods of the people he had just slain. This angered the Lord. So he sent the man of God back to him, and the prophet asked him, "Why do you turn to the gods that cannot even save their own people?" However, Amaziah would not listen. In fact, he was outraged and asked the prophet, "Who put you on my counsel?" and threatened to have him killed. Because of this, the man of God said to him in verse 16, "I know that God has determined to destroy you because you have done this and refused to take my counsel." And in a fit of Amaziah's own pride, he tries to get Israel to go into battle with him, and even Jehoash, the evil king of Israel, told him that his arrogant boastfulness would cause his and Judah's downfall. 2 Chronicles verse 19 says, "You are saying, 'I have defeated Edom, and you are very proud of it. But my advice is to stay at home. Why stir up trouble that will only bring disaster on you and the people of Judah?'" God sent the king of Israel and the man of God to tell Amaziah that it's a bad idea to do this. And still, he was deaf to the warnings of God. So he decides to go to war with Israel, thinking he couldn't possibly lose. But because he rejected the Lord delivered him into the hands of his enemy, and they were beaten, and Amaziah was captured. This blinding pride reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Rocky IV. In the movie, Apollo Creed is so prideful and arrogant due to his wealth, fame, and history that when he decides to fight the Russian, he is so confident in his own abilities and so sure that he's going to win that he doesn't listen to anybody's warnings. Even after his friends and family tell him that maybe he isn't as good as he used to be, maybe that this younger, stronger guy might beat him, he still thinks he knows better than them because he used to be champion of the world. And just like Amaziah, it was his pride that eventually led to his downfall. Look at Proverbs 16:10. "The Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this. They will not go unpunished." This is what he did to Amaziah. He delivered him into the hands of his enemy and humbled him, just like the man of God said would happen. King Amaziah lived 15 years after the death of the king of Israel, but after he turned away from the Lord, there was a conspiracy against his life in Israel, in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But assassins were sent after him, and he was killed. So why is pride bad? Pride caused this great king to become deaf to the warnings of God and be struck down because of it. So what about you? Who are you listening to? When God speaks, do you listen? Do you serve God or do you serve yourself? Don't let pride lead to your own downfall.